Hello users, and welcome back to another episodic installation of Above It All. So this clip was sent to me. This was apparently yesterday, June 26th, around this time yesterday. And I was told it was really good. And as you can see here, the little tweet posed a question. So I have not listened to Pence's answers to this, but I have been told it was good. So I decided I would do a live reaction. So let's see what Pence has to say, and then also this includes the question.
Sound though, like you're saying, do as we say, not as we do. You're telling people to listen to local officials, but in Tulsa you defied local health officials to have an event that, even though you say it didn't result in a spike, dozens of Secret Service agents, dozens of campaign staffers are now quarantined after positive tests. And then in Arizona, one of the hardest hit states, you packed a church with young people who weren't wearing masks. So how can you say that the campaign is not part of the problem that Dr. Fauci laid out?
Well, I want to remind you again that the freedom of speech and the right to peaceably assemble is enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. And even in a health crisis, the American people don't forfeit our constitutional rights. And
the Constitution, buddy! The Constitution, right. So freedom of speech doesn't apply to protesters who are being, or journalists who are being assaulted by cops. I've literally made hundreds of videos talking about this. The First Amendment doesn't apply to journalists who are being shot and pepper sprayed and arrested by police. That doesn't apply to journalists. The First Amendment only applies to like fucking 18 to 20-year-old fascist Zoomers that want to go to a Trump rally and fucking cough on fucking boomers. That's when the First Amendment applies. The Constitution, buddy? The Constitution? What about the right to plead the Fifth? What about, you know, the right to not have soldiers fucking enter our houses and just station themselves in there? What about that? What about the right to protect yourself from unreasonable search and seizure by police departments and officials? What about that right? What about the right to not get waterboarded and tortured beyond a reasonable doubt? What about those rights, Mike Pence, you fucking prick? This is already good.
working with state officials, as we did in Oklahoma and as we did in Arizona, we're creating settings where people can choose to participate in the political process, and we'll continue to do that. I think it's really important that we recognize how important freedom and personal responsibility are to this entire equation, but allowing
so the freedom to go get a fucking disease at a Trump rally, that's fine. The freedom to go record a cop who's beating the shit out of someone, sorry, doesn't exist. The freedom to be a whistleblower against police brutality, nope, sorry. Freedom for me, but not for thee. That's the Republican fucking way.
For Americans, allowing younger Americans to understand, particularly in the counties that are most impacted, the unique challenges that we're facing.
Look at his hands.
In their age group, we think is important. But look, it's so important that we recognize that as we issued guidance to reopen America now 2 months ago, and now as all 50 states are opening up our country again, people are going back to work, American everyday life is being restored kind of one step, one day at a time.
We're all just watching.
I think it's important that we remind ourselves this is not a choice between the health of the American people
We're all just watching
and a strong
the American
economy.
empire collapse.
There are profound health implications
religious nut jobs.
To the lockdowns through which we just passed. I heard a statistic not long ago at a task force briefing that in one jurisdiction there had been a 50% increase in the number of people presenting in emergency rooms having attempted suicide.
And we're just sitting in here.
There are profound mental health issues. There are profound economic issues. People needing to be...
Just whatever. We're just sitting in this fucking disastrous empire, watching it fucking crumble and collapse with a religious nut job at the helm of the coronavirus task force and an egomaniacal billionaire fuck in the fucking just the driver's seat. And of course, and the opposition is Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi. Dude, honestly, Whatever happened to that second stimulus package, Pelosi, Schumer? Or did that go? No! Let's just reopen America! Reopen America! Oh. What the fuck should I say here? What sort of analysis can I provide? Like, this is what we've all been warning everyone about for years. Being a leftist in the United States of America was always about knowing the future. I'm cleaning my glasses. It was always about knowing what's going to happen. That's why when we said if Bernie wasn't the nominee, there's going to be a lot of problems. Lo and behold, there's a lot of fucking problems. You know, like, the one chance that the entire corporate establishment and oligarchy and top 1% had to quell civil unrest was Bernard motherfucking Sanders. And I do want to say, I do want to tie that through line in here, because there is a whole generation of people like myself that in 2016 were told it's okay to be poor by a fucking old man from Vermont. We were told it's okay to ask for help. And that was a genie that was let out of the bottle, and that genie was contained in a bedroom, so to speak. You know, locked windows of the Bernie campaign, all the way through to the 2020 campaign, and then they fucked us in the ass. So we've got a generation of people that have been studying for 4, 5, 6 years. We are ready and we are willing to burn this motherfucker to the ground. And then we also have a new generation of young people that may have not even gotten the chance to get into politics. You know, electorally speaking, their exposure to politics was getting beaten into the asphalt as a teenager or a child by cops. Their exposure to politics was losing their fucking house or losing their fucking parents to the coronavirus. Their exposure to politics is watching their friends and family, people they know, being murdered on camera and seeing the murderers get away with it with national media attention. So, to these fucking religious boomer zealots and anyone over the age of 30 who doesn't understand why young people are pissed the fuck off, I'm sorry. You had your chance to prevent this. You failed. Okay? There are two options. We all die and suffer. That's option 1. Actually, which one should be the middle finger? I don't know. That's option 1. Option 2 is we burn this motherfucker to the ground and start the fuck over, because this is clearly not fucking working. Seriously. Like, I remember as a teenager listening to like fucking like, you know, Green Day and Rage Against the Machine and thinking like, wow, the world sucks, but at least we have cool music I can listen to. And then like as I grew up, I lost my house, you know? I fucking had chronic illness as a kid, and it's like, why can't I just have health insurance? Why does my mom have to only take me to the doctor when she can pay for it? You know, it's like, what, like, all these things, and it's like, what is happening in this fucking world? Like, you know, and then you have Mike Pence say, listen to state officials, listen to local officials, and then just waltz in there like the walking contradiction, just fucking saying, you know what? Do as I say, not as I do. Because the shit's so deep, you can't run away? Unfucking believable. My lord.